Get Spiritual. I'm your host, Annie, and I'm here with my bestie, Ashley, and we'd love for you to join us as we discuss all aspects of spirituality and wellness. So sit back, take a breath, and let's get spiritual. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Get Spiritual.
Hi.
I am so excited about this episode.
Oh, you're geeking about this one. You are geeking.
Yeah, if I haven't been a total geek or nerd yet, like y'all about to really see.
Yep.
Wow. So this week's episode is about crystals, and like this is my ish.
Yep, it is. I was just thinking that this your ish.
My ish. Like it really is. I don't even like. It was crazy how I even got into it. It started with me back when I was doing yoga, and from yoga I learned about the chakras, and then from the chakras I learned about like pendulums and reading the chakras, and then I found a crystal set online that was like a chakra set. So it was one color stone for each chakra. One, yeah. And I was like, oh, these are cool. And then I read up on them and I read more about them. And then I was like, oh my gosh, these are awesome. I need all of them. And then I just kept buying more crystals, and it came to be my little my passion. And decided to get certified as a practitioner because I really find that they have a lot of benefits in our lives.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, what do you mean they're just not pretty rocks? And today's episode is how I get to explain that they're not just pretty rocks.
Today you get to unleash the sciencey facts about it.
Yeah, I'm excited. So bear with me. I have my notes because my brain is ADHD and I need focus. So one of the reasons why I love using crystals so much and why they work with helping us achieve like goals within ourselves and help us maintain mindsets and kind of just help us along the way. I think they're like little helpers.
Yeah.
They have the ability to transform and train energy.
Okay. So
entrainment is when things fall into synchrony with one another despite having varying rhythms to begin with. So like think about this example, and there's studies that have done this. There's like an experiment where there's a multiple pendulum clocks on a wall, and the pendulum is swinging at different paces on all of them. Like they're all swinging at the same like click, 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 but the different times.
Right.
And as time goes on, you leave the room and come back, they all become in sync.
Huh. That's
and
pretty cool.
All just like that's the principle of entrainment. They all entrain to the same the same kind of like rhythm. Yeah, it's really cool. So crystals actually have these principles to them. They entrain the energy with them, which is like why we put them on our chakras to entrain that energy and kind of influence it in like a positive way.
Right.
So we actually work with crystals. Like they don't do the work for us. It's like an even exchange. So there has to be like a relationship.
To get the energy back.
Yeah. You can't just put a rock on your forehead and be like, woo, this is working.
Can see the future.
Yeah. You need to work with them. They entrain and transform the energy, and there needs to be a healthy exchange there for that to occur with your energy and their energy.
So I don't know if this is a good time to ask this, and we can revisit.
Yeah.
We just talked about moldavite.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like you need to give it any energy.
Yeah. And well, they all have different vibrations to them. Yeah. So they all emit their own vibration anyway. It's just to build a relationship and work with them.
Yeah.
You should have that healthy relationship because if you just get a stone like moldavite, which is a very powerful stone, it brings about a lot of change in your life. It helps just get things in kind of their order that
I was going to say
they're meant to be in.
Yeah. And I was going to say, it's also one of those things we were just talking about it before we started recording this episode, because it was like a TikTok trend crystal.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like, I just heard about the amazing effects of this crystal. And then like their next video,
crying,
I hate my life.
And I like quit my job.
Yeah, like moldavite. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe learn about some of the stones before you go out and start using them. So working with the crystals actually allows us to help change our own frequency. How we talked about like the high vibration and low vibration, and how frequencies are like the speed at which our vibration is going, whether it's a high speed or like low. Working with crystals is a good way to help maintain a higher vibration within ourselves. So they are energy oscillators. It means it's a device that that generates oscillatory electric currents or voltage by a non-mechanical means. So it creates its own natural pulse of electromagnetic energy at all time, which is like really crazy to me. This stuff.
P.S. Everyone, say hello to our special guest.
Oh yeah, we're back. This one. So in easier terms, it emits like that pulse. And on an energetic level, it's constantly just going. We can't see it. It's on that electromagnetic scale, something that our bodies just can't perceive with our eyes and everything. So what actually makes and defines a crystal? In order for it to,
it's not like a regular rock off the road.
Exactly. No. In order for it to be considered a crystal, it must contain a repeating crystalline molecular symmetrical 3D pattern. Like it's special.
Okay. Again, not your average rock
not
off
just
the
a
road.
rock on the side of the road.
Walking
It's
on the
actually
side of the road, pick something up. That's not a crystal.
Yeah. The molecular pattern is actually a fractal, where it means it's just like the same pattern that repeats itself over and over again. It's a geometric figure where each part has the same statistical character as the whole.
Okay.
It's crazy. This is where we start to get really
literally
deep.
flew over my head, but that's okay.
So these kind of patterns recur like in galaxy formations, fluid turbulence, and crystal growth is where it happens. It's like the same. That's how they like grow to create these formations. It's basically sacred geometry within like a rock form, which is really, really cool.
It's actually really cool. I've sent these because, I mean, obviously I know that you love crystals.
Yeah.
So I've sent like videos to you and stuff that I saw on Instagram of like how they actually like harvest some of these things and like polish them and make them pretty. And because I mean, it is coming from the ground. It's not like it comes out like a beautiful shiny thing that you purchase
it's like a
at
child
the store.
out the womb. It's messy.
But
it's precious.
But the things that they do are amazing. Like to make them to the quality that they are when, you know, you do buy
the way
them
they
in
get
stores.
polished and cleaned up, it is really amazing. But some of the ways that they get found and just the fact that our Mother Earth creates these beautiful stones, it's just incredible to me.
You can go to like places where you literally like, it's like a vein where you can find a bunch of different kinds of crystals or the same kind, and you get to go out there and like dig them up and stuff. There's like literal things
it's
you can do
really
like
fun. I highly recommend all of that. It's great for kids to like get hands on.
Have you ever done one of those?
No, please. I need to.
I was going to say, maybe
I actually want to go on a for real like adventure, but I went hiking last year where I usually go camping, and when I went up on the hike I kept finding quartz all over the place.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And you're supposed to, the stones that are below the earth of where you reside are actually, you're in tune with that vibration already because they're the ones here. So it's cool to get ones from different areas of the world. Because you're actually you have a piece of the world like somewhere else with you, which
awesome.
is really cool too.
Like
So remember back when we talked about vibrations and we talked on the frequencies and stuff. So crystals and everything has a dominant oscillatory rate, which is like the measurement of energy emitting. That's like a measurement of the vibration that you have.
Okay.
We have a collection of dominant oscillatory rates. With our heart has one, it's beating at its own like rate. Our brain, lungs, all of our like major organs have it. We as a whole emit our own rate. And because we're like kind of a mess, there's a lot of variables in there. There's not a lot of consistency with that. And crystals have one dominant oscillatory rate. They're steady. They like hold that energy steady and they maintain that same vibration. And we're just like up, down, sideways, all over the place. Our energy's all over. But crystals maintain one steady, like dominant rate, which is
why you can work with them to regulate
they help
energies.
And again, they entrain that energy. So because theirs is so like strong and just like a pulse,
grounded,
it helps us kind of, it influences our energy in a positive way to be more like that. Nice. They're amazing. So a little bit more than just a pretty little rock.
There are pretty rocks, but they do more than just on the surface.
Yes. So the dominant oscillatory rate of each crystal is actually dependent upon the molecular composition, the size, and the thickness. And this is one time where size and thickness do matter. But also like the colors of the crystals matter, which is really cool because that's kind of determines some of the properties of the crystal as well, because each color, as we talked about, has a frequency to it too.
Right.
So it all kind of ties in, like the color of it, the composition of it, the molecular structure of it. All of these things influence the properties that are like help us physically, help us mentally, like emotionally, like some of the crystals in their composition have iron, and that helps our blood flow more because that is a pooling down towards the earth. It's a very earthy type of like resource. So having a stone that has iron in it will help your circulation and stuff like that too. There's a lot of, one of my favorite stones, lepidolite, has lithium as a natural compound in it. And lithium is known as sometimes a prescription for people who maybe suffer from bipolar disorder or ADHD sometimes. And the ingesting it sometimes gives some bad side effects.
Right.
And as any prescription drug that you take over time, there's going to be these side effects. But introducing lithium into your energy system actually helps still regulate the left and right hemispheres of your brain, just like the medicine does. But this is actually in a rock form that you can hold and meditate with and carry it with you. So you still get the same vibrations that the medicines deliver, just not through ingesting it, but by placing it on your head or in your pocket, in your hands.
That's pretty cool.
Crazy stuff. So again, like, how do they work? They have this fixed repeating molecular pattern, or like crystalline structure. Crystal system is another name for it. And there are 7 main groups to these geometric patterns. And they are cubic, hexagonal, trigonal, tetragonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, and triclinic. So these are like the core shapes. And again, like the triclinic is very much like triangle shape, and it just like triangles building off of triangles building off of triangles. So these are like the perfect, like I wish I had a little diagram for it.
I know, I was going to say we should have like gone through your hoard and seen if we could like find each one so we could show it.
But then there's like the cubic one, and I know I've seen some, if you know my collection, I have the perfect little beautiful cubes of pyrite. They're one of my favorite ones. They're definitely cubic. And I also have fluorite, which is the, I believe that one is the orthorhombic that has the like 2 pyramids stacked on each other. It's really, really cool how these are like naturally formed in these perfect, like near perfect shapes. Yeah. It's insane. And all crystals have the lowest rate of entropy. And the definition of entropy is the degree of disorder or randomness in a system. So they have the lowest rate of that due to their perfect geometric molecular composition and structure. So there's not a whole lot of room for disorder in their perfectly ordered state. We are a hot mess of disorder all the time. And it's just, everything in life. We have emotions, we have highs, we have lows, we have ebbs, we have flows. And crystals are like, nah, we're good. We're just going to maintain here. And this is what we are. So because of that low state of entropy, they resist influences that would normally challenge like other materials' stability and precision. Like their vibes are so high that low level energy cannot affect them because it's always in this perfect state of like stability and equilibrium.
So if that's the case, why is it important to like clean your rocks or your crystals? Yeah.
So when you can put intention into how you use the stones, where like if you're working with a stone because you really want to work on shielding yourself from negative energy, you kind of like, you're manifesting that and you're putting that intention into the stone so that when next time you use it, it still kind of carries that energetic weight to it. So it's good to sometimes cleanse or clear your stones. We're going to get into like a little bit of that too. But they kind of hold and store energy as well. Even though they have a perfect vibration, like nothing can mess with them, they also hold and store energy as well through like light. Let me find where I'm at. Oh, crystals have that kind of a power as well, like how I said with the clocks, to harmonize with the energy around them. They reduce the disorder within our energetic systems with their perfect harmonizing order. And this is why I became so obsessed. This is why I started my own business. I just found that it was so cool that they have such an influence on us. And again, we can't physically see it immediately, but over time, like my life working with crystals has I definitely have seen tangible evidence in my own practice of doing it. I see it in practice of my clients who've been coming. I have a couple of regular customers or clients that have been like coming. I know, right? And I see how they've been improving just with working with crystals and being more aware of themselves. And there's a whole mindfulness thing.
What I was going to say, I think that's one of the most amazing things about what you do. Like, you know all this stuff, you've worked with crystals yourself, but you've been doing so that for anybody that's done that, it really just has an effect on you, right? Like, you being in a better, higher place energetically will have an effect on your life, but the actual benefits and like the, oh my gosh, this is a real thing is only something that if you just work with them by yourself that you experience. Get to see. So you having this business, you do get to actually see how it differs with different people, or like you said, when you have a returning customer, how in between even visits their energy has changed.
It's and like reading the energy and like seeing the proof of it in there. That it's just been amazing. And sometimes when I do my energetic cleanse and put the crystals on the body for the crystal therapy, just from the beginning of the session to the end of the session, I can see some improvement sometimes in how it depends on how deeply rooted these energetic blocks are in the first place. We have a lot of things that can wipe us off perfect chakra flow very easily. But if they're like deeply rooted, it's going to take some more conscious effort. Right. And crystal therapy and working with crystals is not the only avenue to spirit. Like, there's so many avenues and so many things to do. I always think that crystal therapy is like in addition to other methods, like in addition to Reiki and acupuncture and massage therapy and yoga. Like, these are all just different ways to explore spirituality and to connect with yourself and to attain a higher version of yourself. I definitely use it to help me reach my goals. Like, I work with stones constantly to help myself bring clarity, to keep negative influences away. There's a lot of ways that you can work with them. So we talked about on our chakra episode how they each relate to different physical and emotional aspects of our beings. So I find it pretty interesting that there's 7 main chakras in our body. There are 7 main color frequencies that resonate with each chakra. And there's 7 main crystal systems that also resonate with each of the chakras and colors. Blew my mind when I found this out too. Yes. So they really, like, working with crystals really can help our energy flow in our chakras better and influence us in a positive way, like overall as a result. A lot of my clients sometimes ask, like, okay, well, like, aside from crystal therapy session, how do I work with crystals? Right. So the easiest way to have them around and work with them is to wear them. I am always... Yes, even I have them. Yes. This is a purchase. This was a gift, I think, from you. Usually if I have crystal jewelry, it is me. From you. Yeah, so this is this. Yes, I have multiple bracelets. I can't. There we go. Yeah, where's the damn these guys? I know. Picking up something else that isn't even here. Anyway, I sell these on my shop at thehiddengemlv.com. Yes, I was going to wonder when we were going to plug the shop. Yes. And I guess my crystal therapy services are on there. I do a whole bunch of different ones. I love doing the intention sessions because there's literally a stone for anything. Yeah. I really like to kind of curate and decide what stones I feel best for what you're looking. I've had people come to me for fertility sessions, for test taking sessions, for stress reduction, for high anxiety, for I just want to get more in tune with myself, for I'm moving and starting a new job. I love doing that because there's always some type of energetic influence I can introduce into your energy field. Some way to like help people attain what they're wanting. Exactly. So I really like wearing my stones. I have earrings, necklaces, all of that. It keeps the energy there. And I find that I fidget with them. So I'm exchanging more energy with them as I'm like playing with them throughout the day. And like even on a subconscious level, I'm taking in that energy. And again, the bigger ones are better here. If you have a big old tower of amethyst at home, that's emitting a bigger frequency out into the whole room. Not everyone could afford these beautiful ones. I mean, they are expensive small, I mean, this is a rarity from the earth. They're all one of a kind. They're all unique. And I think that's what I love about crystals the most is that their imperfections and their impurities are what make them what they are. Right. If they all look the same, they wouldn't be as unique and interesting. They each have something very unique about them. And I think we need to translate that into our lives a little bit more and appreciate
like people.
Yes. And that's why when you are shopping for crystals, you have to let it choose you.
Yeah.
You have to, like, just how when we're craving something, like in our appetite, it's our body telling us that we are maybe lacking some vitamins or something. Right. The same with crystals. If you're like, I'm just drawn to this stone for some reason, that means that on an energetic level, you can use what that stone has to offer.
I love doing that. There's, again, it was a gift from you. It was, I think it's my rose quartz palm stone. It's like just this beautiful circular, it's a palm stone because it fits perfectly in the palm of my hand. And I just love it. And whenever I'm just having like one of those days where I'm just not loving myself quite as much as I should be, I immediately grab that stone. Yep. And I even like to sleep with it by my bed. Like I think last week I was kind of crusty and I grabbed it before I went to bed and I fell asleep with it on my chest. I'm like, feel my beat on my heart. I think I need it. That's great. And then I've been sleeping with it next to me and I just feel better. Yeah,
it really does help. I definitely have some next to my nightstand as well. There's ones that help with nightmares. There's ones that just help. I use them in protection when I went camping by myself. I got some protection stones. I made a grid. Yes.
If it wasn't going to keep you safe energetically, it was going to become a weapon physically.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Another way to work with stones is to meditate with them. And I have done a crystal meditation where we did that, which is really, really fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. So if you're regularly practicing meditation and you want to introduce working with crystals into it, if you don't have any, again, talk to your girl. I can definitely help you out with that. But you always want to work with them in your left hand because that's where we receive energy through is our left side. So just sit there and meditate with it. I really like to do a crystal meditation where you just gaze at the stone. I also do this with smoke meditation when I light sage. I just sometimes really enjoy watching the smoke billow and all the swirls it goes through as it goes away. And you don't have to think about anything. You just be there. And the same with the crystal. You really get to look at its inclusions. Sometimes you could find a little rainbow in the light when it hits it just right. Sometimes there's flashes of color in some of the stones. Notice if it's opaque, if it's clear, if it's sharp, if it's rough, if it's smooth. Like there's just making a bonding with it, really. It sounds
really
weird.
Being in the moment
but really appreciating it and like how this was formed, like all that had to go into creating
Attitude of
this.
gratitude.
Yeah, for sure. So we always want to be sure that you're looking into what each stone is. Again, each stone has its own properties based on its color, its vibration, the molecular structure of it. There's a lot of things that go. It's not just like, oh, this one's for this and this one's to make you happy and this one's to help you connect with spirit. Like it's not just something, like there's actual energetic vibrations that resonate with those areas of our bodies that help us in that way.
Pretty much know what you're buying and what it's for and what its purpose is.
And if you're meditating with a stone or working with one, you definitely want to put your intention into the stone, make it very clear, and just like meditate with it. Ask it to guide you and show you like what steps to take next. Like trust your intuition more when you kind of do that, and open up yourself and allow the energy of the stone to entrain with yours, and just think about that and allow it to influence your energy. When you're open to that happening, it affects you more. So pay attention to any thoughts that come up, any colors, visions, or patterns that you see. When I do my crystal therapy sessions, I sometimes am appalled at some of the things that my clients tell me are happening or that they feel, which is really crazy. Like, oh, I saw these colors when you put this stone here. I felt this when you put this stone here. So it's really cool, and just pay attention. That's your body reacting to it and having that. So you can always charge a stone too. Like they have their own energetic vibration. So I don't think you really need to do a whole lot to charge a crystal. But you can influence it with like a full moon. Sun charging crystals is great because it really just gets that pure prana energy right into the stone. I've sun charged crystals, and I feel like they're some of the most powerful ones that I have worked with and have seen some really crazy results. You can also use them with water. You want to do your research because not every stone is good to be in water.
Well, I was going to say, even that, isn't there some stones that you don't even need to do this stuff with? They're just like so powerful.
Like, all of them are like that, but like
okay.
it helps to, well, using stones in water, and if you like drink elixirs, like there's gem elixirs, you don't want to put a stone directly in water and then drink that water.
Ew, no.
Like there's ways to do this. You have to really do your research, but because water can store information, if you work with crystals in water and make a gem elixir with the proper education and information, then you can actually ingest those vibrations as well too. Like
don't they even have water bottles with crystals in them?
Yes, that's like the best way to do it. It's already ready for you to use that way.
Yes. Ready for you to digest, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can always put them at your windowsill and allow the, energy that way to influence your stones as well too.
That's my palm stone that I just talked about. I usually have that on my windowsill.
Yeah. I like to smoke cleanse them, especially when I use them for intentions. I always just say like I'm clearing out any previous intention before I set my new intention into the stone. So that's really good to do as well. But I really like to use my little tuning fork over here. This guy, when I tap on him near crystals, it helps them keep their vibration really strong and really tight. Okay. So it kind of just tunes them just like an instrument needs to be tuned. It kind of keeps them really in their vibration.
I just imagine you walking around smacking your tuning fork. And
dude, people must think I'm crazy here when I come to work at my office here because like first you smell the sage and then you hear bing. Like, some stuff's going down in that room soon.
There's stuff happening.
There are some rituals happening. I'm cleansing the whole space before anyone new comes in there. It's always a good time.
It's funny because when I walked in today to record, that's the first thing I asked you. I'm like, did you sage?
Yes, I did.
Smell it.
Yes. It's part
and
of my
still
ritual.
Didn't fix our camera problem.
No, I thought that would help with our friend who's here again. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for crystals. I can go on and on and on and on and on, but I kind of wanted to just touch a little bit on how they work and why they work.
People an intro, because can we maybe not make it like a whole announcement, but baby talk?
We may have some other experts on for some interviews in the future. Yes. So with some of these topics that, again, we can kind of go on and on for, I like to keep our episodes under a half hour. So I want to kind of dive a little deeper with them with an expert in these subjects.
There's certain episodes where we'll have special guests on.
I think I'm a little bit of a crystal expert, but this lady is really an expert. So
I'm very excited.
Yes,
for this
very
one.
excited.
You will see Crystals will be back with a special guest.
Yes.
And you will see that with other topics that Annie and I have made some pretty amazing connections in our spiritual journeys.
Yes.
So you will see some special guests popping up throughout the rest of this adventure.
We have some fun topics. And again, some of them are great to chat about, but others I just want to talk about more.
Want to go into it a little deeper,
So if you guys want to hear anything specific, you can always reach out to us at letsgetspiritual1111@gmail.com.
Yes.
We are always ready to hear any suggestions or topics that you'd like us to cover.
And if you have a name for our special guest that is apparently just going to always show up in our episodes,
we're used to it now.
Go ahead and give them a name.
So that's it. I think it's time for some tarot.
Yes.
I'm curious to see because this topic was not an emotional topic. It was more an informative topic.
Exactly. So I'm curious to see what kind of messages we get this week.
Yeah. So let's take a few breaths while Ashley shuffles her cards. We're going to connect with ourselves and feel into our entire body when we inhale for 3 counts and then exhale for 3 counts, beginning now. And exhale for 3. Inhale again. Exhale. And last one.
I know. First of all, can we just take a look at that wand at the top? Sturdy.
You are thirsty.
Sturdy. That's the first thing I saw.
Naughty.
Okay. Look how happy that guy looks. So we have to start the Page of Wands, the 3 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups. Overall, I'm getting good vibes with this one. I feel like I feel like whoever this resonates with, you are really just like coming into it.
Okay.
It's really the vibe that I kind of get. Like with the Page of Wands, I noticed something X-rated and dirty. We're not going to go into this. It's not that kind of podcast. But this guy is looking real just like happy. And
yes.
For me, Wands is always like the start of almost like a journey. Like you're getting into something. You're about to get into something, or you've been into something. You're just really proud of yourself. The Three of Cups is a sign of celebration. I mean, nice. Those ladies are literally looking like they're partying, that is a party. Right? So I do feel like whatever you're getting into is definitely, it's making your soul happy. It's making my soul feel happy. So I'm just going to go with that. And then, God, I love those.
I know.
I'm also glad that we figured out which is which. And then I have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is, for me, just one of those things where it's the universe's way of reminding you to kind of stop and smell the roses. It's literally two little girls just appreciating a moment. And I really think that that's kind of what this message is really just to appreciate your moments. And I think that in doing so, you're gonna get to an awesome place in your life. With, I just
celebrations.
Really, and just abundance, and it's just overall good vibes.
I love that. Yes. What a great message. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Again, for all of your crystal needs, I am your girl. There's a lot of resources out there. You're not limited to me, obviously. But do your research. And if you're curious, hit me up.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you all for listening, and thanks for tuning in. You stay spiritual.
Yes. Bye.